Hi guys, and welcome back to Car Focused. Now in today's video we have from Caterham a Caterham 7 310R. Now I've been wanting to drive one of these on the road for a long time. I did actually drive a 270S on track about 2 years ago and I was really impressed, but I've never had one on the road, and this being the next one up from the 270S and also having the R package, I'm pretty excited to get this thing out on some nice back roads and to see what it's actually all about. Now this car, Caterham 7, classic design, it's been around for many years now, hasn't really changed, but there are a few variants of the Caterham 7 you can get. This being sort of the lower end of the spectrum, 620R being the top of the range one with a 2 litre supercharged engine. You can also get a sequential gearbox for that as well. Yeah, this one is the 1.6 litre Ford Sigma engine. This produces 152 brake horsepower, do 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds, and it will see you up beyond 130 miles an hour. So in a car that weighs 500 kilograms, is about 3 inches from the ground, that is plenty fast enough really. This is obviously the R pack, so we get a few additional features with this. Things such as the carbon race seats with the 4-point harness. You've got Alcantara lining in those seats as well, they're really comfortable. We've got a carbon dashboard, Momo steering wheel, we've got a nice shift light as well, just to kind of aid you when you want to change gear. Limit slip differential, uprated master cylinder, a lightweight flywheel, and we've also got some little extras like the Avon sticky tyres as well, which on a day like this come in really handy. This thing really does handle brilliantly. So yeah guys, I'm pretty sure that we've all been go-karting before, and we've finished go-karting, we've got into a hot hatch, and our hot hatch has felt like a boat. Well, I can assure you, if you had this sat in the go-karting car park and you jumped in this, it would feel pretty much the same. This is essentially a road-going go-kart, and I'm really excited to get in this, push it a little bit, see exactly how it behaves on a nice little back road, and share my experience with you. So if you've got a spare sort of £30,000 kicking about and you like the look of this car, then by all means check out Caterham's website and have a look for yourself. But anyway guys, I think that's enough talking. I think it's time to jump in the car, take it for a spin, and we'll see exactly what it's like. So guys, here we are, we're out driving the Caterham 310R. Now I'm going to have to shout because this thing is very loud, it's very bare bones, raw, rough, rugged, whatever you want to call it. This thing is basically 4 wheels, a steering wheel, some pedals, a couple of seats and a gearbox. That's pretty much what you get with this car. This is a go-kart for the road. There's no thrills in here, we've got no creature comforts whatsoever. We've got hard carbon seats, but they are quite comfortable actually. A tiny little Momo steering wheel, a beautiful little gear knob with 5 gears, some little flimsy doors, a bit of a windscreen, and that's it. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Now, I picked this car up earlier on today, and I picked it up from Gatwick at Caterham headquarters. I had to drive 2 hours back home on the M25, M1, a bit of the A1 as well, and I'm not going to lie, it was hell. I had the roof on because I didn't want to be too exposed, and lorries are sort of up here, you're so low to the ground and you feel so vulnerable, and you also realise how bad other people are at driving on the road. But yeah, it was noisy and I wanted the journey to end, to be honest. Well, I've got the car home, we've got the roof off, we've got some beautiful roads here, and I know for a fact this car is going to really come into its own. And let's face it, why else do you buy a Caterham? You don't buy a Caterham to go on the M25, you don't buy a Caterham to go shopping, you buy a Caterham to get on the back roads. Jesus man. This thing is crazy. And coupled with your sport suspension, you know, your lightweight chassis, just the Caterham recipe, it's motor in heaven, I'm telling you. nothing else on the road that gives you this sensation. No hot hatch can come close to this. I absolutely love it. Get it on a tiny single track road as well, and this thing just feels doubly fast. Solid indicators. What a beautiful day for it, guys. What a beautiful day. I'm not even going to speak. Oh my God. Oh my God, guys. You know what? Life does not get any better than this right now. This naturally aspirated 1.6 engine just feels so powerful. And it only really comes alive at 5,500 revs. Being naturally aspirated, it's quite, there's not much power there below that. But push the revs through to 5,000 and beyond, and this thing just absolutely flies. I mean, this is pushing the same power as the Ford Fiesta, the Mark 6 ST, and this feels a different level of power. I can't imagine what the 620 Caterham is like. That thing must be insane. The 620S, 620R, 2-litre Duratec supercharged with a sequential gearbox. That thing must be insane. But what I do know is that this package here, this is a well-balanced, just great all-round car. The weight of the car, the power, the way this thing handles, it's perfect. And we're not quite at the entry level here. You have got the 270S below this, and this is kind of, it's got a few more revs in the rev range and a bit more power. I'm losing my voice. But guys, if you haven't driven a Caterham, you really do need to. Now, what's it like to sit in the cockpit? We've got this tiny little steering wheel, no power steering, so you do have to kind of fight with the steering wheel a bit when you're at low speeds, trying to sort of turn out junctions and stuff. When you get up and rolling, the steering flows nicely, the steering feel is beautiful, you feel everything through the road. The car's on Bilstein dampers as well, handles these roads beautifully. It is obviously bumpy, but it's not, it doesn't start to get out of control when you go over the bumps. It remains nice and planted. This car's on Avon, optional Avon semi-slick tyres as well. So obviously into corners you can apply throttle through the corner, and the car does remain very grippy. If you do give it too much throttle and exit the corner, the rear can step out slightly, but it's very easy to counteract that and have it snap back, and off you go. This thing is so agile. Woo! The gearbox is super solid. It's a little bit notchy going from third to fourth. You've got to be quite forceful with it, and you can miss the gear quite easily if you're not paying attention. It's just super engaging, guys. It really is. I drive this road quite a lot, and this feels like one of the best cars I've ever driven down here. shame we couldn't get this on track, because that would be absolutely mental. But if you had one of these cars, you wouldn't need another fast car. You could quite happily have a boring daily driver, a diesel that's economical, and then you've got this in the garage that you can take out on a weekend in the summer, and it's just a completely different level of engagement and fun. It really is something else, and like I say, in a day, in the modern age where things are becoming so boring and we're just losing that fun factor now that we kind of used to get with the older cars. Something like this, it just brings it all back. It just brings all of those feelings back. So sitting in this car, your legs are funneled into a really tight sort of pedal box space. So you need to make sure you're wearing quite thin shoes, otherwise it's quite easy to overlap your feet when you're braking, or obviously using the clutch, just using the pedals in general. So get yourself some nice thin shoes and you'll be all right. Also, the chassis itself in here, there's two chassis options. You've got the normal chassis, which we've got here, and then if you're a bigger person, so you're 6'2" and over, you can opt to have the larger chassis. And I'm not going to lie, it's very snug in here. I'm quite skinny and I just sort of fit perfectly in here. So if you're of a thicker, stockier build, be prepared to be very snug indeed. And that also makes getting in and out of this car quite a challenge, particularly with the roofs on. I mean, if you're a big guy, I wouldn't even bother putting the roof on, because getting in and out when that's on is a challenge. But with the roof off, open up the door, just put both hands on either side and lift yourself out of the car, a bit like you're in a Formula 1 car really, or a racing car. Well guys, there you go, Caterham 310R, completed it, mate. And I've loved every single second, apart from the M25, I've loved every single second of my time in this car. This is just so me. I love driving, I love speed, I love the sensation of a well-sorted car with bags of grip and also a slightly playful rear end. What more can you want? This is just absolute motoring perfection. And it's not often I rave so much about a car, but yeah. And I'm taking this car for what it is. And that's simply to give you as much fun